light should shine through your eyes. The light should be spoken through your words. The light should be felt in your deeds. That is the true purpose of our being on this earth. To uncover the light and let it shine brighter and brighter.
I wish that we could clip puppet strings, among other things, and walk hand in hand, smiling and suffering. I know a thing or two about the sins love redeems, and what it means to play kings and queens in each other's dreams. A pyrite crown and killer whale clavicle, the phoenix wishbone and showcasings from the Alamo. All powerful, all talk, hiding from the prying eyes that the walls got. Watching while the ball drops, I'm scared of life. Erudite parasites, spray pesticides and paved paradise. Joni Mitchell never lies, string holders never tell the truth. They enterprise and fabricate a worldview to sell the youth. But when you smile, I forget about the mess we made. And life requires depth through the trials of yesterday. I met you at a show, hiding out behind a lens, basking in your afterglow, smashing time and time again. The silent hymns of lambs laying in the lion's den, a channel from a higher plane and planted in the minds of men. You and I can bend bars back on iron gates, flip puppet strings and crawl together through the fireplace. I need to trace the contours of a demon's face. I need the space to say my piece before I leave this place. I need to bake the same pound cake that Nita bakes, bring away from the grave to raise kundalini snakes. The fear of feeling shame's crippling. You push me in the right direction. We suffer countless life lessons. Love above everything's the essence, the revelation, the crown jewel of every earth angel's education. I'm wide awake now, I see it so clear. The sound of wedding bells is like music to my ears. The marriage of heaven and hell, the sacred veil of tears, the conviction that a wish could shatter this house of mirrors.
Why don't you look at your own garden? Flowers all over, trees to sit under. Maybe you look for paradise. Remember, it's not at the neighbors. Cultivate. It is yours.
Driftwood down the river Styx. One side scorched earth, the other side's 666. Which way to go from here? To flip a switch and strip away the old veneer. Emerging from a cave like chrysalis. We sit and watch snakes slither off and grip their lips. One day it's Herculean feats, the next Sisyphus. Earth angel sending signs, let her seal with the kiss. Assurance that it all to work out. The sky's limitless, you get the gist. Dismiss this riff-raff and rabble, while rousers in the midst practice witchcraft and babble. Galactic motherships, magic tricks, astral travel. Had to scratch the itch and went and bit Adam's apple. Gather up your wits, we battle with casted shadows. And chapel perilous that pulled the rabbits out of black holes. Maverick with the Vic, master shuffling at the expo. Grab my oven mitt, season up the dish and presto. Light blue, able blood, red cane. Raindrops survive the flames, times have changed. He held his head in shame and fled the scene after. Driven from the yellow grain and emerald green pastures. It's knives at dusk or pistols at dawn. I hear the propaganda sing the same dissonant song. The theme music for the kamikaze mission will run. To strip the planet of its riches till the getting is gone. Bread alone won't suffice, burning candlesticks at both ends. Hold the mic since I was shoulder height to Gary Coleman. The goal's been the same since to sculpt the whole terrain. brain, taking notes on everything observed to ease the growing pains. On city blocks at night you hear the sound of ghostly chains. On desolation rolled and roasting over open flames. On everything that's holy and sacred my hope remains. Redemption songs are like an antidote to poking pains. Sometimes I overdo it, spill guts like Tetsuo. Desperate for a world that's less brutal, hoping that the future holds fewer weapons forged in the crucible. Beat them into plowshares to till soil, plant seeds and watch them grow. Strong boughs and branches where the birds sit. Grant you that a camera can't capture a picture perfect. No statues of dead warlords caked in bird shit. More wrenches and machines attempting to fry their circuits. Light blue, able, blood red cane. Raindrops and violet flames, times have changed. He held his head in shame and fled the scene after. Driven from the yellow grain and emerald green pastures. It's nights at dusk or pistols at dawn. I hear the propaganda sing the same dissonant song. The theme music for the kamikaze mission we're on. To strip the planet of its riches till the getting is gone.
Look at you! Beautiful strength. Why not try?
What is red? A poppy's red in its barley bed. What is blue? The sky is blue where the clouds float through.
To the ancestors known and unknown, Ashe. To the gods known and unknown, Ashe. All the praise, all the glory be to the Most High. What's going on, guys? It's your favorite cosmic warrior. Tax the show. Wow, throat chakra already, huh? I guess there's an important message. Secret Society. Secrets being revealed. Secret Society 187 to themselves. We're going to get a prayer and then we're going to tap in and see what they don't want exposed. We're going to expose it. Spirit, thank you for coming through. Thank you for guiding, protecting this message. Thank you for removing any negative energy from the area. Thank you for allowing this to get to any and everyone it's intended to. And so it is.
Fled the murder scene, saw me making progress, saw me do my thing. Subtle magic that could turn a peasant to a king. Saw me drip gently down the stream in the dream state and reawaken with the child smile and the clean slate. Don't say something, touch a nerve, make a mean face. We would argue every day for a week straight. They say it's all for the best, I don't disagree. She's throwing shit at me, I'm screaming like Kid Capri. Sweet misery, physically sick, heedless. Let me live my life how I see fit. I saw the light that day, like we don't ever have to live our life that way. Salome, lead me down.
Living life how we seem fit. You know, doing what brings us happy. That brings us happiness. It brings us joy. It just brings us, well, but it's also summertime. It's relaxing. It's easy. It's enjoyable. God hears everything. You know, free will. We have the right to choose whatever we want, whatever we prefer in this life. But we don't have the right to try to dictate other people's, to use our free will to impose upon their free will. That's a violation of universal law. That's a violation of spiritual law. You know, that's all noted. Nothing, you know, nothing done in the dark. Nothing done in the dark always stays in the dark. The summertime. Summer still has storms. Summer still has rainy days, still has cloudy days, but it also has the heat. Can they handle the heat? Can they handle the heat? You know, changes and transformations. We get a lot of nudges sometimes from the universe to correct our course. You know, when we're really heading off of our course. Or when we're really, you know, just fucking our shit off. Yeah, we're just out here playing fuck, right? You know, sometimes the universe will gently nudge us the right thing to do, things to correct. But when you ignore those nudges, you don't get soft nudges anymore. They become very drastic. You know, it's like the more you fight it, the harder it gets. Which, of course, it's not made for you to succeed. You know, it's made for you to stop at whatever the fuck it is you're doing. Sit down, reflect. You know, it's in the reflection. It's in the reflection that's, you know, reflected back to us, you know, how we could have done things better, you know, but then it's also, it's the learning, it's the lesson, it's what we were supposed to take out of it. You know, because if we didn't learn the lesson, then we repeat it. You know, but it's the statements we make to the universe. It's the statements we make saying, yeah, I learned my fucking lesson, and guess what? I didn't fall for it this time. You know what I mean? We all get tested. We all get tested. And, you know, we know the answers. The answers lie within the tests we've already taken. You know, the trials we've already been through. Right? You know, that's why it's important to reflect and to just look back. Not in judgment, though. We don't look back. Well, judgment. Judgment comes from, a lot of times we judge things and we judge it from looking at it from the wrong perspective. And when we judge it, we end up throwing the wrong label on it. And that ends up doing more damage to us. You know, that's why we're supposed to hold back from putting labels on things. You kind of just let them label themselves. You know, but labeling ourselves, you know, living our life however we want to. You know, people can stick a label on you, whatever label they want. It doesn't mean it's true. You know, it's up to you if it's true or not. Are you gonna? I mean, a lot of times, we're living down to their words, because it's those type of people that they're not gonna, you know, create lies about great things that you're doing. They're gonna create lies about bad things that you did. You know what I mean? Or the truth. They might come at you with the truth too. But you know, it's accountability. You know, thankfully, we're not defined by our past. You know, we're defined by the choices and decisions that we make right here and right now. You know, but we're accountable to the past. You know, we're not proud, we're not happy with all the choices and decisions that we made in the past, but, you know, it is what it is, and yeah, I said it, yeah, I did it, and yeah, it is what it is, right? You know, but it's everything. It's everything. That's for somebody.
I'm going to LA. I'm going to California. Well, I haven't been doing too good here, you know?
Miss Perfect was powder in her nose in the bathroom stall with the pile of chemicals getting suited. I was daydreaming about my music, cleaning forbidden fruit out my teeth with the toothpaste. The masqueraders are passing out party favors and playing games that appeal to our darker nature. Like William Tell with the loaded clock. If you're not a short shot, you'll decorate the flesh with red polka dots. Holly stepped out the restroom with toilet paper stuck to her stilettos, holding a golden glow. And all the king's men were riddled with bullet holes. She be the bulimic belle of the ball that stole the show. But tragedy, the photo box will strike a pose with the seven-headed beast. She's a sight to behold. My Babylonian beauty, bougie, domineering, designer wearing diamond earrings. Find your bearings. I just wanna say, it's gonna be great if you proceed to it. The sky darkened, but no one seemed to notice. Fighter planes blocking out the sun like locusts. It's all showbiz, glamour and glitz. Divine play off of Broadway and camera tricks. Little miss bites with lower lip. Wine trickles down her chin. I'm sitting in the corner taking notes with the fountain pen. Inside looking out, outside looking in. Sing a praise from a wrinkled page in the book of hymns. And when the moon turns blood red and love is on something terrible and beautiful that's hanging by a thread. You don't know if it's the end or a new beginning, but know for sure there's something fundamentally flawed with the life that you've been living. I wasn't there for the crucifixion. We tightrope walk the thin line between truth and superstition. If you don't know, you'll know real soon. It's sacred and profane intoned in the hotel room. Now listen, I just want to say, it's gonna be great if you proceed to it. Now, I've been so lost, kicked when I was down, barely had the strength to hold my sickly frame off the ground. I've been found out, I'm fried and phony, exposed, felt the world breathe, I'm taken beyond my threshold. Pain, maintain, sang in the rain. I'm the only one to blame for not staking my claim. I get fallen so far from grace, built destroyed, and search for new worlds that would help me to fill the void. I am 1-0, I kill the noise, and rap from the rhythm section with no exception. The real McCoy, searching for the source, the dream merchant in the sky. The most high depends lies the certain sin of pride. The serpents in disguise lurk around the city streets. I pull the curtains back inside your home.
There's serpents in the skies lurking around the city streets. Pulling back the veils. Pulling back the veils. You know, the Most High revealing things to us. Revealing things to us so that we can make the shift. Well, revealing things to us that no longer serve us. Revealing things to us, mindsets, you know, a lot of times it's mindsets, but it's anything that's preventing us from shifting. You know, it's anything, it's, fuck off. It's anything in the 3D that we're attached to, you know, that's preventing us from moving forward. That's a chain that's holding us here. You know, seeking you shall find. But when when the Most High gives you the information, you know what I mean, you got to act upon it too. You know, acting upon it, trying to keep you in poverty. But poverty is a mindset. You know, spiritual poverty, financial poverty, mental poverty. You know, but poverty is poverty. And wealth and abundance is a wealth and abundance. Which is also a mindset. It's given a mindset that you have downright. It's like they're watching you online. They're watching you shift. You know, it's like it's at ease for you, but it's not. Obviously, it's not your first time. You know, it's interesting. People look at the roles assigned to them, you know, through societies, right, and cultures, and you know, we have something to learn from everyone. You know, each one teach one. One hand washes another, both hands wash the face. You know, we're all on different levels. We're all fighting different devils. You know, but some people just, they block the message because of the messenger. Because of, you know, someone in their family that, well, who are you to have that information? Who are you to have that knowledge? Well, the one that did the fucking work, that's who. You know what I mean? The one that's tapped the fuck in, that's who the fuck it is. You know, who the fuck are you? You know, hopefully you're doing the same shit. In which case, but if you were, you wouldn't be talking like that. You know, it's people that aren't tapped into their own divinity. It's people that aren't tapped into their own power that are going to be jealous of others. And, you know, but jealousy is a hindrance. Jealousy is a motherfucker. Jealousy is going to hold you back. You know, but it's it's not blocking the message because of the messenger. And a lot of time, well, what are the messages? The messages are it's things that we need to correct. And a lot of times it's us. It's us. It's not other people, which it would be a lot easier if it was just other people, but it's us. And so seeing that, recognizing that, and being willing to actually change whatever it is, programming that needs to be changed, it's it's easier said than done, but it is fucking possible. You know, but then we always have like an internal knowing. Our internal compass is always going off. Like, it just resonates. Like, when something's off, it feels off. You know, when something's right, it doesn't matter who or what around you is telling you what to think or what to believe. It's that you can't tell me what when I know. You know what I mean? It's the confusion, you know, that we allow in through our ears and through our eyes. It's the confusion. You know, that's why we need to be calm, you know, be still and listen. First eye on the most high. You know, but it's watching what we consume as well. It's watching what we're allowing in through these vessels, through these devices. You know what I mean? It's really important to watch whatever because it's consumption. You know what I mean? And what it's also consuming our time. It's consuming our energy, and it's energetic contracts. You know what I mean? And it's but it's either playing into the old programming and helping to reinforce it, or it's sparking new programming and it's sparking new thought patterns and new thought processes, which is where you should be going. If it's not challenging you to look at things differently, if it's not challenging you to think for yourself, if it's just, you know what I mean, if it's all just the same shit, you're looking at a pile of shit. You know, if it's all just the same old nonsense, it's nonsense. Doesn't matter how many people are still spewing the same nonsense. It makes sense. It's not beneficial. It's a lot of stuff we consume ourselves with. Some of it's harmful, but other of it is just, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Being mindful of what we consume. That's for somebody. Hey, thank you.
Cold into precious diamonds. Next level phonics, the dust never settles on us. Pedal to the metal. Tell those devils to get behind us. Desperate times call for measured responses. Decepticons call for scanned retinas and palm prints. Sound minds assessing our collective unconscious. Say to focus on what's precious, all the rest of it's nonsense.
See a preamplifier like this, got a magnetic phone, tape head, distortion 2%, harmonic unmeasurable. You like him for it? How about this new Faldeck speaker? You fiend, you know I'm still paying on the indoor boosters and the stereo dappers. You dirty rat. You got me started on this stuff. Take it easy, Charlie. He came to me, don't forget. He can't handle it. Charlie, stay away from those knobs. Charlie, don't touch that big knob. Sellers to get a guy like Charlie hooked pretty easy. Replacing an oncoming like that for 3,000 watt power amplifier.
Stay clean, Chuck. Pipe dreams keep a fiend stuck, obsessing over every new toy and beat machine touch. From clean cut kid to crass sewer rat, digging through the trash and dollar bins, slipping through the cracks of mass. Wax piled to the ceiling beams, countless holy grails, Type 45, sight from the Philippines, name it. And I know what dreams of being famous in the
Holy grails, dreams of being famous. You know, a lot of the stories, a lot of the just a lot of the fantasies, the stories, a lot of the things, it all talks about the same stuff. Hey, thank you. It all just, it's describing the same kind of things with the different words and stuff, different scenarios. But it's all hidden information. It's all hidden knowledge, you know, but it's hidden messages. It's, you know, it's a surface message that everyone sees and enjoys or points fun at or whatever it may be. But then there's the message when you can get beyond that, beyond the initial. You know, but what's beyond the initial? You know, the place where magic lies, you know. But it's the spiritual bath, it's the cleansing, it's the spiritual cleanse that allows us to coast right through. You know, allows our manifestations to come to, well, they always come to fruition, but it's being aware of it. It's being conscious of the choices and options that we have. A lot of times, you know, well, we're always creating, just a lot of times we think we're creating what we prefer, but we're not. You know, all the energetic contracts that we're signing, everything we're doing contradicts it. Man, a lot of it's just from lack of knowledge, Well, and from what? For well, let's make, of course. Look at how we're taught. We're taught the exact opposite of everything. And it's not a system designed to make you succeed. It's a system designed to keep you stuck, to keep you trapped, to keep you enslaved. And it does very well. It does very well. But guess what? You can't keep us all trapped. Can't keep us all trapped. Some of us our minds are stronger. You gotta have a lot of willpower, a lot of mental power. It's not for the weak. That's for sure. That's for sure.
And I think it does have a psychological effect.
There is a high, the addict admits this. And after a while, that high is harder to get. Eventually, nothing else matters. Your habit is so instilled, you lose your mental and physical control.
Ain't that record a riot? No, it's all right. And that loudspeaker sounds tinny.
You should listen to the following music in such a way that through complete absorption in the sounds, you lose yourself and become fully involved with what you hear. Listen.
I guess they don't speak about love, do they?
About love.
I think we've been coming back to affection, the hardly equipped for society.
Lined with cages where the hopeless dwell, through shadows,
Damn.
alleys, hissing.
Damn. Walking through hallways where cages dwell. Damn. You know what it's given? You know, heavy smoker. This is the first time I'm seeing this card in this way. It's given blowing smoke up someone's ass, right? But it's blowing smoke up your own fucking ass. You know, try to auction off your soul. But it's like, it's trying to lead you down a hallway, right? Never wanting you to even see that the end's in sight or possible. But every door, would you choose it, is just different prisons, different cells to lock yourself into, self-imposed. But step parents, but it's leading. It's someone leading, trying to lead you there unsuccessfully. You know, a lot of work, unsuccessful, hard work. But it's the knowledge, your knowledge. It's given like, I don't know, like they're spitting out like verbal venom, like they're spitting it out, they're shooting it, they're trying to shoot it at you, and it's going, and then it's coming all the way back and it's going right up their fucking ass. Damn. That's a return to sender. But it's ancient. But it's your protection. It's your protection. Heavily protected.
Something from me, I'm trying to work the angles. Sweet talking, sleepwalking through the streets, watching Judas Priest, hopping through the cheese, lying through the teeth, I've been sold off, flying high on it.
Trying to work the angles. Trying to work the angles. Line between the teeth. Line between the teeth. Well, but it's lying about the betrayal. It's like, I didn't have anything to do with it, but it's also, but that's like to your ancestors. That's like in the spirit realm. But, you can't hide. You know, but the respect, you know, the respect is the respect in the spirit realm. You know, people will judge you by who they observe you to be. You know, but that's through their lens. You know, a lot of times, let them betray themselves. Let them betray themselves. You know what I mean? The words that they're speaking about your character. You know, it's a trap they set for themselves. They thought they were setting it for you, but no, they're only betraying themselves. They're only betraying themselves.
Every shining star in heaven falling from the sky. Beautiful illusion, rotten apple of my eye.
Strange bird call, gently echoing space.
Let's dig until we hit the bedrock. Life is but a dream, a way station to the next stop. Let's talk, more direct shots to your bread box, while despots turn the third rock into a sweatshop. We need home to breathe, sustenance for the soul. See the forest for the trees, feel the planets push and pull. A few took a step and shook the globe, somewhere off the crooked road, facing tribulations out the book of Job. The aim's the clip cast and that strings attached. Hell's bells toll when you let your dreams lapse on the quest for greenbacks where kings clash. Set the scene, think fast, catch a flash of light and let the ink splash. Here we are, past the point of no return. Nerves, freight, shock, watching while the world slowly burns. The flesh turns to compost, the ashes in the urn. Flowers for the fallen, food to feed the maggots and the worms. Pause and reflect. Jolted out of sleep with death's claws on my neck. There's tattered rags waving in the dawn's early light, and swine pointing pistols at the songbird in flight. The empire's unhinged, the eagles all bones, and wolves guard the global hen house we call home.
Unhinged, unhinged, unhinged. You know, you unhinged. You know, it's the going crazy, seeking clarity. It's, you know, the wolves in sheep's clothing. They tried to sneak in, but it's like, you know, the whole herd wasn't sheep's. The whole herd wasn't sheep, and it wasn't wolves either. You know, but they're realizing that now. You know, but it's not understanding the battle you were fighting in yourself, the battle you were fighting with yourself. But at the same time, it's not understanding the battles that they're fighting with themselves. It's the way that you trigger them when it's supposed to show them something, it's supposed to reflect something back to them that they're supposed to change. But they're not taking it that way. They're taking it offensive. They're taking it a whole lot of ways other than the way that they're supposed to be taking it. But they're not taking the news well. You're still working on yourself. No matter what they can't stop you from fixing yourself, from fixing. I don't know, but it's piece and knowledge together. It's piecing the pieces together. It's piecing together. It's learning the lesson, seeing people's true colors, and then finding like the real lesson that really lies below there. Like what you're really supposed to be learning. Like what it's supposed to be teaching you about yourself. You know, what you were supposed to be getting over, what you were supposed to learn. You know, but it's you realizing, it's you learning the lessons. That's the real threat. It's the red flag. It's the, you know, but it stops the play. It stops the play. You know, but it stops the play for what? A review. Seeking clarity, the review. They keep checking the replay. They keep checking the replay so that they can, and not so they can stop, just so so they can succeed. But they're not going to be able to. There's no play in the playbook that's successful. It's not going to be.
Like the white flakes when the blue pigs breaking, escaping, escapism, a schism, the beauty of a mind prism.
And do things for the right reasons. I like breathing, even when I'm at odds with the world around and can't place the exact cause. Baptized in primordial waters, all praise to the author. Nursing my shot nerves, my skin grows thick. I sidestep the bullshit and focus on the light, not the bones that crows pick. Hi Helen, I'm with 5 felons, the sky's melting. One look at you's got the water in my eyes welling. I'm here to find the escape routes and open doors, and breach the empire's walls like the Trojan horse. From single cells to stringer bells and kings that fell, from heaven's heights to the pitfalls where demons dwell. Your name rings bells, the queen of life forms, incubating in the womb till the stream of life's born.
Your name ringing bells. Ringing bells. You know, but it's in the halls, and it's you know, it's in the bloodline. You know, but it's, you know, something that I heard recently that really stuck with me. Interesting how that fell right under the mechanic. Hey, thank you. Something that really stuck with me was, you know, well, first off, the first part about generational curse breaker is, you know, how we should be looking at it through the mindset of it's a privilege, it's an honor. You know what I mean? That we were chosen, that we were strong enough, you know, to be able to come in and break the bloodline, right? You know, but at the same time, it's, you know, but it's given thanks. It's given thanks for the strength to be the one. It's given thanks for the willpower, the perseverance, the determination. It's, you know, but it's also, you know, we give thanks for the gifts and the abundance that can be passed down, you know, through the bloodline as well. You know, not just the trauma. You know, it's yeah, thanks for that trauma. Thanks for those, you know, all those generational fucking bonds. Thanks for those. You know, sarcastically, but on the real though. But it's those that help us to advance, right? That help us to evolve. But then it's also, you know, don't lose sight of, you know, you have other things available to you now. You know, once you break the generational curses, and there's rewards after each one. You think there's just one? Nah, Buttercup. There's a lot more than just one. And there's a lot more than just one, you know. But each one, it's its own separate, you know what I mean? It's, you know, sailing away. See you later. You know, but don't forget to give thanks for the trials and tests. But it's also, don't forget to tap into the gifts, the rewards that are yours. You know, and don't expect us to see it, you know, in the physical, monetarily or physical things. You know, it's knowledge. It's, you know, it could be heightened intuition, heightened discernment. Who knows what it could be? I don't know, but it's something. You didn't do it all for nothing. You know, you get something out of it, and it's well worth it. It's always worth it. It takes a while to look at it from that perspective, though, but it comes in time.
Circled us with eyes like dollar signs. Seek solace, find hearts that pump liquid college of crime to scrawl away their souls on the dotted line. I need release from the chaos, the payoffs, the backroom deals, the global chessboard, the stray shots that tear through flesh when empires face off and despots reduce men to biometric stage props. A smile that can heal the sickness of the world, lights the living room like forgotten visions of a girl dancing in the rain, telling me the story of creation. Alpha to Omega, Genesis to Revelation.
Something just opens. Something just opens. There was a kind of flash. The air around me was liquid. And you can feel the liquid, and you can feel the liquid being pulled into your lungs, being pulled into your lungs. And everyone in the world heard their name, and everyone in the world heard their name, heard their name.
Everyone in the world heard their name. You know, but it's attracting miracles. It's not looking back, and it's just waiting for, well, but it's birthing. It's just the April. It's just the coming alive. It's tapping into your purpose. It's tapping into yourself. You know, but the no looking back. A lot of people think about it as like leaving, right, and like leaving away from something. But it's not outward. It's an inward thing. It's going in so far inward. It's like, where the fuck am I? How the fuck did I get here? What the fuck is all this shit? You know, it's, you know, but it's no going back. You know, it's no going back. You know, but it's the understanding. You know what they say about like unlocking the chakras? Like, you know, once you start on that journey, you don't stop. It's always seeking. You're always going to be seeking more. It's always like lit up in you, and you always just feel the magnetic poles that you can't ignore even if you try, right? But it's like a lot of times it's when you go down that journey, it's you already were pot committed when you chose to. And so it's like, well, we can throw the towel in at any point, but it's, you know, when you go all in, and then, but it's not even that. It's you're gonna deny the miracles that you've seen happen for you. You're gonna deny that. You're really gonna deny that. You're gonna say that you can't see how the Most High works for you and through you. You know, if you can honestly reflect and honestly say that, then, well, you're probably on the wrong path then. You know, but if you reflect, and you know, it's obvious. All it takes is thinking. Oh, there's that time, and that time, and that time, and that time, and all these times, all these promises, you know, made, all these promises complete, all these promises, you know, but so quick are we to forget the promises and lose sight of, and what? Because our idea of timing, our idea of it's been enough, well, we haven't learned then. If, you know, if we feel like it's been enough, well, you haven't learned. You're looking at things from the same perspective, which is the problem. You know, it's the blowing smoke up our own ass. You know, it's, you know, thinking that we're perfect and we didn't do well from an outside perspective, from a societal perspective, from a whatever perspective, but not from an energetic perspective. From an energetic and a spiritual perspective, you're wrong, you're failing. That's why you're repeating. You know, but seek and you shall find. Seek and you shall find. But the Shaggy, it wasn't me. But it's still, it's lack of accountability for ourselves. Well, it's seeking ways that it's the threat is the ways that we're able to seek out the ways that we're passing the buck and we're not taking accountability. About perspective is everything. Yeah, how we look at things. You know, it's the miracles. You know, sometimes the miracles are, well, just that you healed, but it's that we're able to do it. But then, you know, but it's more so what we gained from it. You know, it's never fixating on what was taken from us or what we lost. It's what we gained. And a lot of times, it's just knowledge. It's just knowledge. It wasn't fun, but we learned it. It's all necessary. It's a realization that everything's crucial. You know, it's the things that we're too quick to label as unimportant and throw it away, toss it, whatever the fuck we do with it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of times, it's within the stuff that we've already discarded is where the secrets lie. You know, reevaluating, you know, checking the labels, checking for expiration dates, checking mislabeling, check the labels.
Watch them try to quantify soul and the state of mind that I'm in. The principles of light and dark can play inside the shaman. The words wrote themselves, I sat still and listened to the source that expands and contracts in my field of vision. Soul search, where the wildflowers grow, crows perch and ghosts lurk below the cold earth. I know my own worth. When day breaks, we watch the world come alive. Odd things in God's dreams, lost in the patterns on the mind's wings. My love resides on the other side. The cold shadows out my chest and help me to shake the sleep from my eyes. At sunrise, we could finally see the light clear. Slept on the bed of nails, woke up from a nightmare.
Arms pressed out against darkness.
You know, waking up from the nightmare. Waking up from the nightmare. Vacation, February, stolen inheritance. It's freeing ourselves from being frozen. But the inheritance, it's our spiritual inheritance. It's our knowledge. It's our gifts. It's everything. It's everything that's free once we do the healing. But the healing is the healing. It's the healing, the red flags. You know, but it's throwing the red flags on. It's accountability. It's holding ourselves accountable. It's keeping ourselves on point. It's the things that we do behind closed doors. It's the things that we say. It's the things that we watch. It's whatever it is that's done behind closed doors. You know, it's, you know, but homie hopper. But it's the things we. It's the things we hop. Well, it's hopping around from to distract us. It's hopping around for distractions. You know, but getting interesting. You know, a lot of times we get too preoccupied putting out the fires that everyone else are putting, that everyone else is starting and this and that. But it's more important to focus on our own fires. But focusing on your own fire. It's your ability to hop around from different fires. Well, it's internally. It's different parts that we need to repair and heal. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. You know, you sit there and get a whole list going, but you know, but we do what we can do. You know, we do what we can do until we feel stuck, until we feel frozen. And it's like, all right, well, on to the next one. I can either stay here stuck and frozen and dwell on that, and not a great place to be, or I can just keep it moving on to the next one. And you know, I used to say the best part about procrastinating is you always have something to do tomorrow. But now it's like the more I get done today, the more I'm able to do tomorrow too. But it's different too. It's the perspective of looking at things as being able to get to do it. It's I get to do this instead of I have to. You know, that's the wrong energy. It's the ability. It's a opportunity. It's a gift that we should be giving thanks for. Even as shitty as some of the gifts seem, you know, we're here and we're doing it, and so for that we give thanks. You know, but it's being present wherever we're at, but it's being in a state of gratitude wherever we're at as well. You know, it's your ability to always be grateful for wherever and whatever. You know, yeah, it's nothing wrong with wanting more, but there's nothing wrong with being okay and well, it being. It's sufficient for now. It's not like this is where I want to stay or this is all I want to have or this and that. It's have goals, right? But it's never losing the sense of appreciation. It's never losing the sense of gratitude. You know, at any level and for anything. You know, but that's the dark as well as the light. You know, that's for the clear blessings, but also the lessons, which are also blessings. It's just a blessing in disguise. Which are even, sometimes it's even more of a greater gift, but it's really dressed up as not a gift, but it really is, because it's the lesson, and that's priceless. You can't buy that. You can't purchase that. You know, but the opportunities, the chances we have to go through the things, to learn the lessons, and we go through it, Other people would die to have that lesson. Other people died during the lesson. But you made it out. But you didn't learn the lesson. You missed parts. Damn. You better reflect and get that, because if you don't, well, it's going to come back and you're going to slip and you're going to fall back into the same trap, and it sucks. But it's okay, you know, just, you know, I used to look at it as, oh, it's a setback, what the fuck, get all pissed off, but then it's also, you know, that's just kind of me and competitive, and just, but it's like, I wasn't ready, you know, there was parts that I was still missing because I just wasn't ready, and so it's slow down, you know, when you're trying to rush too fast, you miss very important parts, that's why we don't rush, you know, it's a process, you know, and we go at the universe's pace because it goes a lot smoother when we go work at the universe's pace, not at our own. I mean, but at our own pace, but at a regulated our own pace, not our mindset of, you know, I should be at the finish line right now, because a lot of times it's funny because a lot of times when we throw in the towel, we're so close to the finish line we can almost taste it, but then other times it's. Oh, but it's all choices. It's all tests. They're not easy tests. They're not easy choices. But it's everything we've been through that makes us exactly who we are and places us exactly where we're at right now. Every thought, every choice, every word, every action, it all led to this point in time, right here and right now. Hopefully for a great one.
Blowing east, satellite, 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 uptown, satellite, sunny side, satellite, Sutphin, satellite, satellite. When I walk around my hood, I see laughter and debate, and lots of ads, and Pasha saying not so fast. When I walk around my hood, I see lots of Jordans. I do admit such uniformity's exceptionally boring. When I walk around my hood, I see cars, not too many lawnmowers, affecting cars and corner stores. When I walk around my hood, I see Jedis and Padawans, FedEx and Amazon. When I walk around my hood, I see the spectrum of the matter that exists. Lots of Black Lives Matter fists. Not that matter's fixed. Recruiters saying hi, not worried if I die when I enlist. And water from the fire hydrant mist. What a mix. It can't be recreated in a pic. It can't be recreated in a flick. Or in a gift. What you see is not as much as what you miss. But what a gift, and what you see is what you get. Elmhurst, satellite, sunset, satellite, blowing east, satellite, 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 uptown, satellite, sunny side, satellite, Sutphin, satellite, satellite.
Damn. Fuck.
Look at me. I'm doing things.
I'm doing
Look
things.
at me. I'm doing things. Look at me. I'm doing things. Look, I'm doing things. Look, I'm doing things. Hey,
Look at me, I'm doing things. It's a step parent energy. It's parent energy. Someone that's just that you could look up to as a parent, or someone that places themselves above you, like looking down into you as a child. You know, but that's interesting too, because, you know, auction off your soul. A lot of our souls, you know, don't be just, you know, don't be fooled by the vessels, you know, and the vessels have nothing to do with how old our souls are. You know, but blowing smoke up their ass, you know, they were harvesting your energy for a long time, since a child. You know, but you changed the game, called your power back. Called your power back. That gives energy if they weren't too happy about that. You know, so it's like, okay, so if we can't harvest energy any longer, then, you know, then we're just going to sacrifice you. You, spiritual leader. Satellite. That just keeps playing over in my head. Satellite. But it's, you know what that's given. It's the way that the information is transferred. It's it's like it set off an alarm. It set off an alarm. An ancient alarm. You know, but what that's given, it's given your soul's tied in with other ancient souls. And, you know, but it's an energetic thing, and it was like a ripple felt. It was like something. It's like it could have like activated your protection or something like that. It's kind of what it's given. It went from just harvesting your energy, which is like a no, you're not supposed to be doing it, to, you know, trying to sacrifice you, which turned it into that's the game changer, the red flag. It's like that's the flag that was on the play. But it's like, you know, your spirit team could be on the sideline watching. You know, a lot of times they could watch, as long as no universal or spiritual, you know, certain violations aren't broken. You know, they can only do so much. And if you're not authorizing them to do anything, you know what I mean, if you're not giving them the full authorization to help you, then they're kind of working with their hands behind their back, and they're on the sideline anyways. But it's calling them into play. You know, it's calling them to play in a sense of what it looks like is, you know, you're on the football field and it's you against the whole team. You know, but you have all these people that can help you out, and, you know, but when you call in, right, when you call into, like, yeah, I don't know, you set your intention for your ascended master, whatever situation you're going through, right? You set your intent, go into meditation and set your intention to whoever is the most capable for helping me in the current situation, you know, please come forward. I authorize you to help me in whatever way you can, because, you know, they know better than you do, right? But it's the energetic thing. You need to authorize them. You need to give them the permission. It's like a permission slip, right? You need to give them that authorization. It's energetic contracts. Everything's are energetic contracts, and your intentions are very crucial. And so it could be, you know, you want to learn singing, or it could be you're doing this, or whatever it is that you're doing. It could be public speaking. It could be whatever it is. There's someone on your team that has those skills. There's someone in that team that can give you the knowledge and the help, right? And it's just, but a lot of times it's helping you remember what you already know too, right? Because we never learn things, we only remember them. But our spirit team can only help us so much if we're not allowing them to. But then again, if we're not following instructions either, they get pissed off and they get frustrated because they're doing all this work behind the scenes, and we're just we're fucking it all up. You know, we're throwing the game. But when we learn it's a playbook, and we just follow the plays. You know, we don't get to see the whole playbook. We just have to go play by play. Sometimes literally step by step. But it's trusting your internal compass, your discernment, your intuition. Your energy doesn't lie. You know, that's why it's really important to know thyself, to know your energy. You know, but no matter what you're trying to seek or whatever, you know, when you're asking someone in your spirit team to help you, you know, you gotta authorize them, and always ask whoever's, you know, the most capable to help you in the current situation, no matter what it is. And ask and you shall find. But then it's being aware of information. You know, who knows how it's going to get to you. It could be through a conversation, it could be through a video, it could be through, you know, sitting in the doctor's office, flipping through a random magazine from 20 years ago that just happened to still be there. Who knows how the message is going to get to you, but when you set that intention, best believe it. You know, you could be sitting at the doctor's office and someone says, normally you always scroll through your phone, and someone says, hey, go pick that up and go look at it. Yeah, why would I go do that? Well, are you going to keep doing that? Are you going to keep ignoring the nudges that you're getting? Or are you going to start listening to it? Well, that's really weird, but let me go do it. And then you go and do it. And like, oh, shit, here's that information. And then there's times when we notice that it worked. We pause, we give thanks for it, we bring acknowledgement to the fact that we noticed it, we followed through, it's working, hey, thanks, and we give thanks for more. Because you don't want that to stop right there, right? You're not going to stop right there, right? You're going to keep going. And so, but it's a process. It's a process. You know, but the process of them building their whole playbook, you know, it's from a childhood. So it's given a whole lifetime. They spent a whole lifetime creating a whole playbook. But guess what the most I can do? Take that whole playbook, crumple it up, and throw it the fuck out. It's useless. None of these plays are successful. None of them. They're a waste of time, resources, energy. But hey, if they want to continue wasting it, continue wasting it. You know, but it's only successful if you allow it to be. It's the power that you have. You know, stop giving your power away. You know, giving your power away. Now, a tendency hordes. People are just going to try to trigger you to get a reaction out of you. Giving your power away. You know, but learning to control it. Learning to control your power. But it's also your energy, your emotions. It's everything. You know, it's all part of your power. It's you know, your emotions. It's your mind. There's lots. There's lots to work on. Lots to hone in on. Lots to tap in. You know, you've already done the work in a lot of lifetimes. You don't want to tap into any of that this one? You know? You don't want to have some fun with some of that knowledge, some of those gifts, some of that shit you've already acquired, some of the shit you've already earned? You don't want to tap into that? I do. I'm curious. I'm eager to see what they all are. Because I know my persistent ass, I just be putting in work. No matter what incarnation, I just put in work. That's all I do.
Prodigal lost in a maze, gathering flowers for graves. Father'll stay, how could you not be afraid? Watching them follow from grace, I'll be okay. Lot of mistakes, balance new life with the outer decay. Plotting escape, walking the opposite way. While they were talking with snakes.
You know, the outer decay. The outer decay. You know what I'm getting with that is, you know, our vessels will show kind of where we're at spiritually, where we're at, just where we're at. You know, it's you know, mental trap. You know, you fall into mental traps, you fall into depression, you start letting yourself go, you don't take care of yourself, you don't get anything done, you know. But you start forming new thought patterns. You start learning to reprogram your brain. You know, you start learning to. It's choosing to. It's at every situation you come into. It's every fork of the road, right? Where normally you would have just instinctively made choices and decisions like, I'll just go. I always go this way. I'll just go this way. But it's like stopping and questioning everything now. It's like. Not to say that there's a harm down any path, but it's like, why even go down this one? Why am I just following this path because I've been following it forever? Or is there a shorter distance? Like, why am I taking the long route around? It's like, why am I doing that? You know, it's the reflection. It's looking. You know, but a lot of times it is. It's a lot of times the traps. It's having us go. It's going all the way out, all the way around and around and around and around, but we have all these choices to exit. Anytime, at any point, we can go right, but we just keep going around and around and around and around and around. Interesting, whirlwind, the mental traps. You know, but it's freeing yourself from that. It's like energetically throwing yourself out of it. You know, but back onto the reflection, your soul. You know, people that tap into a lot of like the darker, lower entities and stuff, you know, they don't look healthy, you know, and sometimes they can when they're able to harvest energy and do other things, you know, but it's not their own. So when they don't get that, you know, it shows, you know, their true insides show, their true soul shows, and it's not the prettiest, right? It's not the prettiest. You know, whereas it's you just shine, you glow, you know, it's each new thought pattern, it's each new pattern in general. Each new pattern, but it's reclaiming what's yours. It's a step back to reclaiming what's yours. But it's a step closer and closer to the tunnel, and towards the end of the tunnel, and it just gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. You know, but they try to, but it's like they try to collapse in front of it, so you can't see. But guess what? As long as you can see some cracks of light coming through, then it's there. And that's all you need, is the possibility. Just being able to see the crack was enough to say, hey, it doesn't matter if the whole bunch of boulders here covering the way. I know I can get it out, you know, but it's, you know, but it's, the mistake is deceiving ourselves and thinking that we don't have the strength, that we don't have the determination, that we don't have the willpower to do it by ourselves. All right, we're trapped in there alone. Okay, we're trapped in there alone. What are you going to sit there and cry about it and die, or are you just going to do something about it? You know what I mean? It's the realization of the crying about it's not going to do shit. So I might as well just do something. You know what I mean? It's that realization. It's finally just not talking about it and just fucking being about it.
That just slowly enlist and rest in power everybody that will surely be missed. But in the face of being disgraced, I keep it honorable. And I'm not welcome, lots of places that I try to go. And I just want you all to know that you are not alone. You're only 10 to 20 paces from the pot to go. So get it poppin' when I gotta go. The sun is prodigal. I'll do the outro from the intro, just the info that you gotta know.
Listen to the sound.
Yo. All because of you. I seek the mastermind environment. I'm going hard with no regard for my retirement. I fight and lose if I don't fight and win. But either way, I won't be playing a tiny violin. The motion cold to be perspiring. The type of cold to dry your skin. I might be shaking, but I take it on the chin. It's just a type of anguish trying to teach you sign language to a chimp. But homie, in the meantime, you know we gets down. My team apply the Vaseline before the next round. Mom's trying to get to Venus via leaps and bounds. Peeping the scenery and taking in the sights and sounds. And smiles and frowns. I'm an alumnus of the lost and found. Seems one at the window isn't frosted now. So I can have my cake and eat the frosting.
You know, the lost and found. The lost and found. You know, but that's knowledge. Ancestral knowledge. The lost and found. You know, but it's our ancestral DNA. It's our junk DNA, not your spiritual DNA that you tap into. And it's all your knowledge. You know, but your knowledge is like a bank. It's a bank vault. There's so much. You know, but what's in the vault too? What's in the vault? It's the valuables. You know, it's not just, you know, it's jewels. It's gold. It's heirlooms. It's passed down. But the heirlooms, but some of it is knowledge. It's knowledge that you've gained. You know, but other of it could be gifts that their ancestors will pass down. They'll pass down to us. Other times it could be brand new to our bloodline. You know what I mean? The Most High could just decide to bless us with it because of the work that we do. Who knows? But whatever it is, it's yours. Whatever it is, protected by your ancestors. But it's your ancestral ancestors. You know what I mean? Not necessarily like blood, but it's more like soul ties.
Give me something to believe in, and flowers for my queen while the earth is still breathing. I can spot a loud mouth, a pride with the inner sanctum like an outhouse. He thought that he was God like Father God, fell from his Babel tower, and lay shattered on the ground in the magic hour.
Thought that he was God. Climbed, damn, it was talking about the Tower of Babel. Building the towers. Well, but it's, you know, but that's funny. Depending on what wolf it was that you've been feeding, tower moments, it could either be a good thing or a bad thing. You know, sometimes we're at the base. We're at the base of it when everything collapsed and we have time to move. Other times, we spent the time building the towers, and we're all the way up at the tippy top. All the way up to the top. That's a long fall down. That's a long, long fall down. A lot of time to think. That, you know what that's given? That's given new bonds and new chains put onto bloodlines because of some people's actions. Selfish actions of people. Jealousy is a motherfucker. And not just to you, but it's a hindrance to the rest of your bloodline after you. You know, it's very wise to be conscious of the choices and decisions that we make. They don't just affect us. They affect those that we care about as well. That's for somebody.
I was just lounging, staring at the clock, right? I could feel the world turn, burn when it got right. Something came over me, through me, splattered on the loose leaf, profusely. The youth need to follow where the truth leads. I walked the wild side with Lou Reed, with demons pitching pills for dirt sheets, saying I got what you need. Low down, dirty, shameful, heavy bankroll, worked every angle, come first with angels. They say these are the end days, a time of retribution. We point to the sky and chart the planet's movements, but can't measure the cause and effect of dots. And to rather stargaze the night away and play connected dots, or watch Asher Rothschild on the Magnavox and all your favorite rappers throwing up the rock. I'm at a loss. It's not a diss, it's more dismissive or big business, not in my interest.
Tonight I was born. Was right and she fell down, right down there.
Yeah, we're misled. We don't get a badge of honor for walking the cliff's edge. Either wind up dead or sick in the head. Get your mind right. Infinite potential, but the physical is finite. All stick a needle in the all-seeing eye. Release the most high that you beast demonize. We all fall and rise, alter our lives, and tear down the walls of your large enterprise. My mind's eyes open and wide, catch a forked tongue beating by the tail, but all joking aside, I do not make deals with devils, so rebel. The most fiery red, it's rain of rose petals, and everything's dreamlike, everything's changing. The fisher of souls will pull the shark out the mainstream. I'm maintaining. I was cooling out, staring at the clock, and got lost in a daydream. Hold me down, but don't hold me down. Put these devils in a hole in the ground, unholy ground. Take a look around, tell me what the world needs now. I was just lounging, I can feel the turn, I can feel the breathing deep. Universal man with the world in the palm of your hands. Now's no time to sleep.
Into my mirror has walked a woman. In one breast she holds evidence of forest in the other sea.
Please don't let me be misunderstood. If I could, I'd pick the lock and leave here for good. Far from the spokesperson for the old serpent's cold.
You know, picking the lock and leaving here for good. Leaving here for good. Picking the lock, leaving here for good. On the right track. You know, what are we chasing? Harmony. Yeah, but it's the harmony's call. But it's when you're at a place in a life when it's so chaotic, so much chaos, and it's just, I don't want chaos. I want anything but chaos. But it's seeking it. It's the way that we just stop allowing anything into our reality that doesn't bring us peace. Anything that brings confusion, anything that brings chaos, that's not of the Most High. That's not for us. Yeah, we're not compatible. You know, but it's. You know, but it's the releasing narratives that no longer serves us. You know, that we've been holding on to, but it's narratives, it's programming, it's mindsets, it's any and everything of the past that's holding us back. You know, that's holding us back from transitioning. You know, but transitioning, the full circle, the completion. But it's also, you know, the snake eating itself. You know, but it's wholeness, unity. It's on the, well, yeah, on the right path. The harmony's call, but it's on the right path but it's completeness on a soul level. It's the tests and things that we go through that we pass, right? It's like we get these little puzzle pieces, right? When we're able to find the lesson, we get the puzzle pieces, and guess what? It's a perfect fit for this perfect piece of our soul that's been missing. And it's just when you've learned the lesson, you know, and you have that piece that fits. It's just a release. You just release everything. It's anger, you know, resentment, all those things. It's just irrelevant. You know, could it be there if you choose it to be? Of course it could. But it's choosing to. It's awareness of the choices that we make and the impact that they have. You know, awareness of the choices that we make and the impact that they have. You know, but it's not settling for less, right? It's you know, it's not taking just, you know, any cup that's handed to us. You know, but a lot of times, you know, handed to us. Who's the hand that's holding it to us? You know, hopefully it's us, you know, the star. It's us handing ourselves, you know, but handing ourselves our own cup, our own journeys. Oh, there it is again. On the right track, the harmony's call, but it's a soul purpose. It's a soul's mission. Wasn't there a third one that fell? Oh, that was it. Oh, damn, I can't ignore that though. It's a lot. It's a lot to move on from. It's a lot to move past from. You know, but when we're moving past, right? We have options. You know, when we're looking forward at the future, right? Yeah, we can see all those swords sitting there, right? We can see those, but are we fixating on that? Are we losing sight of the beautiful sunrise or whatever it is? Are we losing sight of the view? Are we losing sight of the future just by fixating on the swords that are right here and right now? It's where we're heading. You know, it's not where we came from. You know, but it's not where we're at. It's where we're going. You know, I talk to people all the time, and they're like, "Yeah, I have no idea where I'm going and this and that." It's like, yes, you do. You're going inward to know yourself. Because just from talking to you, I know that you don't know yourself. You know what I mean? Or you're getting to know yourself. You know, on the right track. But it's like, don't tell me you don't know. You do know. But the problem is you keep looking outward for what's inward. And you're never going to find it. Because it doesn't exist out there. It exists in here. That's for somebody. Damn, signs and synchronicities. Another world card on the bottom of the deck. I love this one too, the yin and yang. But it's It's the balance. It's the full balance of everything. The masculine, the feminine, the light, the dark. But the fiery passion too, though. The fiery passion to conquer the world.
Guard the doors, call the knives, call the joys. Far as the eye can see, there's eyes in the sky that are eyeing me. Go to the world in a stranglehold. They want control, they want your goals. Sharpen swords, guard the doors, call the knives, call the joys.
If a man has a good hold on life, the whole gets more sure and secure as he goes on. That's right. Then things should become easy for him. During that period when I analyzed my dreams and began to get a glimpse of the pattern of my life, I saw the errors I had made and assumed full responsibility for everything.
We started out into a fairly basic song, and then the music would settle into a kind of hypnotic river of sound, which would leave me free to kind of make up anything that came in my head at the time.
I'll use a touch of this, use a dab of that, spice it up a bit, infuse it with the flavor that it lack. All the violence and ratchet slang, you can have it back. Bang, blew up in your face, now you're leaving on the last train. They 50-cented the kids and left them shortchanged. To eat, they gotta take to the streets and play war games. They say nothing set in stone or preordained, but some voters have names when they rip through your frame. Let's kill the drama with belladonna and hemlock. Soundboy, kill the noise till you can hear a pin drop. Mem knock devils assemble beneath the full moon and slow dance the night away until the first light of day. At sunrise we come together like the Beatles chorus. Darkness retreats when it sees the light creeping towards it. We're killing time, time's killing us. Years pass like days, but you're feeling the rush. It's all one. Everything moves to the rhythm. Late nights she gets right and moves to the rhythm. Find what you're looking for, lose inhibition. The two-sided story's an illusion. There's just one. Move to the rhythm. At night I slide inside my love and move to the rhythm. Throw caution in the wind, lose inhibition. The two-sided story's an illusion. There's just one. Tune in, drop out, underground economics. Drop in, tune out, work for legal profit. The clock ticks, time moves fast and slows down. And the city shifts from a metropolis to a ghost town. Stay in formation, march toward the Iron Maiden. Off with their heads, spilling plasma for libations. We shoot this shit like nothing's sacred. Just another day shift out, scraping for chips. If you give a rabid dog a bone, he'll pick it clean. Give an old dog a hit or two with dimethyltryptamine. He'll realize that he's living a dream and learn new tricks to exist within the machine. See a sunset, clouds part ways like people do. But I can spend every waking hour counting sheep with you. We're killing time, time's killing us. Years pass like days, but you're feeling the rush. It's all one. Everything moves to the rhythm.
Killing time, feeling rushed. You know, but it's the process. Well, you know, it's interesting too. The sculpture, you know, but it's everything we've been through. Think about every trial, everything you've ever been to. What if it was perfectly sculptured by the Most High in a way that your soul could learn the most, you know, because that's what we're all down here to do, to learn and grow, right, and to create. And but what if instead of meaning to destroy you and instead of meaning to break you, what if everything, you know, was meant to test you, to make you stronger, to strengthen you, you know? But what if it was all, but it's all setting us up, you know? We always have enough right now to make it to the next step, right? And that's why trying to take over someone's position never works well, because you don't have the prior training, you don't have the prior tools, you don't have what's necessary. One, you might have some of the same ones to beat this level right now, right? Okay, cool. You're able to do that. What happens about the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and all those after that? Oh, that's right. You don't have all those. You had one similarity, and you thought we're just the same. We've been through the same shit because you had that one similarity. Oh, that's cute. False, but cute. You know, but it's the... You know, it's interesting, the planning. You know, losing yourself. But it came out in reverse, right? And I had to check in that deck to see, you know, but I had the deck upside down, but it was meant to go upside down. It's the, you know, everything was perfectly sculpted exactly as it needs to be, you know, perfectly planned. You know, it's just the most, it's the way that, you know, even just as far as this goes, but that's because with every thought that I have, with every thought that has, hey, do this, do that, it has a possibility to shift me into like a different timeline or dimension where I would make that other choice than this other one. And then all those records are all kept in the Akashic record. Every single choice, every single one. But it's the choices. The choices, it's the thoughts that we have. Drastically change where we're going. You know, losing ourselves with where we're at. It's losing ourselves, and it's the misery, the sorrows, the pain, the fires, not to make fun of it. It's shitty situations, yes, but we don't have to be there. You know, when we were choosing to live in hell, when we choose to stay there, we try to put out the fire. That we bring out the fighting spirit. We try to put out the fire. If we can't put out the fire, I'm not dwelling on it. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about anything other than what I cannot change. Things that we cannot change, you know, but it's falling in love. It's falling in love with the things about us that we think are unlovable. You know, what if it's perfect? Maybe it's just we were offering it to the wrong people. The wrong people were around us. It was the wrong people. What if it was never a us thing? It was a them thing. You know. You know, it's a union of ourselves. It's falling in love with ourselves. It's falling in love with finding balance. But it's loving who we're becoming. It's seeing the choices and decisions that we're making. It's being able to look back from a higher perspective to the past and like, oh shit, I wasn't thinking very much, or I wasn't looking at that from a higher perspective. I was looking at it from a lower perspective and I had a lot of fun. Or maybe I didn't have a lot of fun, but I still was looking at it from a lower perspective. But it's learning how we look at things, and how, you know, not everything, you know, it's kind of like, you know, things that we had taken and we slapped labels on it, bad or this or that, whatever label is, we slapped on it. But we get a magic little wand, right? And we abracadabra, right? Wrong words. But then all of a sudden the label just changes, right? It's our ability to do that. It's the way that we label things. It's the way that we perceive it. You know, but the way that we perceive things, coming out of things with a stronger mindset. You know, it's being able to see all the lessons, not just the surface one. You know, it's being able to see the strength that's always in us. You know, infinite strength. Just waiting to be tapped in. Once we tap in, you know, but it's emotional fulfillment. It's an internal thing, you know, but as within, so without. You know, a lot of times we find ourselves in situations, we don't like anything around us, but it's like Are we loving on ourselves? You know, we can at least be the person that makes the choices and decisions that we're proud of. And we can count on ourselves, you know, but it's the planning phase, but it's learning to count on yourself, you know, but it's learning that, you know, that these tests, that these trials, they're custom made just for you, but so aren't the blessings. You know, don't think that one exists and the other one doesn't. You know, the trials are custom fit just for you, but so aren't the blessings. You know, you can't have one without the other. But if you went through one, I'll be damned if I don't get the other two. The fuck? But knowing ourselves. Know thyself.
Okay, well alright, I'll throw it out and wait for just a little party tonight. And I know how it goes when you see me with hoes. I'm just another stereotype, but that's life.
Well, okay, well, alright. I throw it all away for momentary solace tonight.
And I know
how it goes. I get high, I get low. I slip up and spiral out of control, but that's life.
Looking for profit, so better than petty pills. So pretty girls think that possibly getting the top of feel. No deal, no cash, just a bowl and some hash. But you can't get it, cause this shit gotta last. I told you I was broke, so smoke this weed. If she's too naked and the pussy pink, he wanna party. Is the first thing that I speak. The homies of the block, he's hanging out with Molly, and we'll probably just hit us up on GP, possibly. It doesn't hurt the ass, snort lines from your ass, a little round of roses, my version of a blast. Sports chaos, just $1 that we rolled up, I need that back. The little good rack will show us the road we feel good. You ask if we go good, until you go good, we just ain't the right one. Sorry that I had to break it, but I figured you could probably take it. Well, alright. I'll throw it out and wait for just a little party tonight. And I know how it goes when you see me with hoes. I'm just another stereotype, but that's life.
Well, okay,
well, alright.
I throw it all away for momentary solace tonight.
And I know
how it goes. I get high, I get low. I slip up and spiral out of control, but that's life. Mac the knife, fresh to death sight. In my next life, I'll shake nightmares from my mind like headlights. Dream pretty things, stuff pillows with angel feathers. The heavens will rejoice, we'll sing in the rain forever. Just you and I, cutie pie, never leave my side. Together beneath the sky where collective demons hide. Every man's a galaxy, every woman's mother earth. I'm her favorite meditative native made of blood and dirt. A fiend's slow suicide, a beautiful dream. Another world of terrifying and beautiful things. Foolish pride, new births, reawakenings, aborted brain, children's screams, day-to-day routines. While I write, my love's lying on the couch sleeping. Communicates the deepest sentiments without speaking. Tell me everything will fall into place. Tell me that the human race hasn't fallen from grace.
Well, okay, well, alright. I'll throw it out and wait for just a little party tonight. And I know how it goes when you see me with hoes. I'm just another stereotype, but that's life.
Well, okay,
well, alright.
I throw it all away for momentary solace tonight.
And I know
how it goes. I get high, I get low. I slip up and spiral out of control, but that's life.
You know, slipping up and sliding, yeah, it's just, it's hiccups. You know, it's almost like the closer we get to our path, to our purpose, and then the closer we get to completing any cycle, things get shaken up. You know, but it's intended to do that. You know, partially as part of, like, I don't know, part of it I believe it to be part of a test, but then it's the Matrix. The Matrix doesn't want you to break out. The Matrix wants to keep you enslaved. And so it's every time that, you know, you're almost there, you know, it wants you to, you know, it doesn't want you to feel stable. You know, but it's your ability to feel stable even when we're not. You know, even it's the stability. But it's the good thing, you know, we're not always looking for stability through these eyes. Good thing we're trusting stability energetically. We're trusting stability through here. But stability, It's, you know, the Most High makes us promises, you follow through, and I'm going to follow through for you. It's like bet, you know, but it's the stability I know. I might not know how it's going to work out, but I know that when I do what's asked of me, the Most High always comes through. And so I don't know how it's going to, but it always does. And so, but it's the chaos. It's, are you going to believe in the Most High? Are you going to know? Even though it's happened multiple times and you've seen it, but this one's harder and it's a lot longer and it should have happened before. But who said it should have happened already? We did. You know, what if we're still keeping ourselves stuck? What if we're still keeping ourselves stuck? But it's the fear to touch upon it's fear touching upon you know, but it's fear. That's what it is. The stability, the chaos, to make you feel out of touch with yourself, to make you feel unloved. And it's to make you want to break your commitment to your contract. You know, break your commitment. It's to break your mind, to break your determination, to break your perseverance, to whatever it is, to make you break. You know, it's all designed to make you break. You know, but it's all society. It's the institutions. It's everything that's built not for you to succeed. You know, it's built for you to stay enslaved, to stay trapped. You know, and you get rewarded for being a good little slave, and you know, for conforming. You get rewards for conforming, and you get reprimanded and in trouble for freeing yourself because you're a bad slave. You're supposed to stay slaved, and you're not supposed to know that you're slaved. You're supposed to just buy into everything we're telling you. You know, but buying into everything we're telling you, our spirit team, it's listening. It's listening to the Most High. It's listening to everything that we're being, everything we're being seen. You know, but it's showing people's mask slips so that we can clock it, so that we can see their true colors. It's seeing our own mask slip so we can see, you know, aspects of ourselves. It's listening. It's trusting. You know, listening and trusting, but then going through with, you know, but it's that mental, it's just the mental charge. It's the mental charge because the chaos doesn't even always make sense to us. We know what we're being led to do and we know what's being asked of us and we know if we're doing it or not, right? But it's, if we were to sit there and try to explain it, I don't know if we could even explain it all. Because how do we explain it? I don't know. It just feels very energetically. Now, people don't really buy that because people only buy like tangible things. I have to physically see it. I have to physically see it to believe it's true and to know it's true. And but limitations. We limit ourselves all the time with things like that. We limit ourselves all the time. You know, but it's our own knowledge. We're limiting ourselves for our own knowledge. We're keeping ourselves trapped, you know, mentally.
Collide through your teeth, the spoon feed of arsenic. Who could stoop the lowest? Who could fall the farthest? It began when we took an apple out for tree limbs. Sweet sin, sustenance to sink teeth in. Took a risk and got 86 for high treason. The pivotal moments, simple components to find reason. Everything's sunny, everything's lovely. Put me on the pedestal, hold no one above me. Everything's pleasant and good. Eating breadcrumbs like the little peasant that could.
Starvation, humiliation, despair, frustration, every goddamn thing. For all your ills, I give you laughter. today.
Particularly in nasty wars on the other side of the world.
We're going to apply the shock, and we'll see the shock indicator on this flash of light over us.
People are very silly if they believe everything that newspapers tell them.
What is the implication for a society that uses punishment and deprivation to control the youth?
Nothing new, same old hustle and subterfuge. Suffering through shockwaves we grown accustomed to. Up the views, more skewed coverage and buzzer food. Trouble brews and punish fish in the blood that pools. Nationwide they're harmonizing like the Four Tops. Warhawks and Park Place and Boardwalk, crying out for scorched earth. It's like we've been here before. Charting each seismic shift with the pen near the floor. Our free and fair press, every step beating bare chest. Which three-letter agencies taking their checks? Safe and sound somewhere lost in the crowd, but raise the light don't shine through white phosphorus clouds. Fanned by the flames, ready the troops, fuel the furnace with half-truths and outright lies akin to urban myths. If it bleeds, it leads, remove the tourniquet. Fever pitch perfect fit for a circus. It's the age-old hustle, the nature of the beast. Just say let's split the cake, then take another piece, and another, and another, and another. No solace in the eye for eyeball they're calling for. You know the mantra well, colonized, call it yours. Peak distortion, reach to each his portion of devil's pie. Explore the depths and depressurize. It's all there in plain sight, clear as daylight. Birds of prey on the world stage playing brave nights. Inadequate words for live, loss, and anguish, but they're cut from the same cloth they wash your brain with. Strange as lopsided nature never caught your eye. Crying out but not for lives lost across divides. Tax dollars not for butter with guns. It's not a tooth for a tooth, it's 5 dozen for one. It's brute force slipping under the thumb. Stripped of pretense, reduce the city blocks to ash and self-defense. Learn to love the bomb, act like nothing's wrong. Dust till dawn, snatching crumbs from your brother's palms. If it that
You know, acting like nothing's wrong. I don't know why, but I'm staring at this card when it said that. Acting like nothing's wrong. But it's like when everything around you is like crumbling and falling apart. What if this is the tower, right? What if this is you falling down the tower? What if this is what you see? And instead of seeing a burning building coming crashing down on me, what if this is what you're seeing? You know, it's being creative with it. Well, it's the way that we perceive things. It's well, when you understand the impact of towers, and especially, if I'm not doing fuck shit, if I'm just working on myself, then the tower's nothing to be afraid of. If I'm out here doing some fuck shit, then yeah, you should probably worry about the towers because they're not going to be fun and they're not going to be avoidable. And well, yeah, you probably should have made better choices. But it's just getting creative. But it's also go your own way. But at any point, coming down, a lot of times we feel like we're in the tower and we feel like we have to stay there. We have to stay in the rubble. We feel like we have to stay under the weight of it. Well, we have all these different stairwells. We have all these different ways. Like we can keep going down, but we can also just exit. We can like leave. We can leave. Not my own type, but it's a lot of times we find ourselves okay and just stuck in the downward spiral and okay with it, and like kind of wanting change but lacking the real effort or motivation to really get ourselves out of it, because it doesn't, it's a lot easier just to go with the flow of everything, which is how it's designed. It's supposed to be easy just to go with the flow. Just comply. Why don't you just comply? It'd be a lot easier if you would just comply. Yeah, but it's complying, and what are we complying with? What are we complying with? It's most society, I won't comply to the way you look at things, because the way I look at it, you're all wrong. And it's not just. But I'm sitting on my own throne. I judge myself, but I'm also I know myself. I know what I've accomplished. I know what I've achieved. But it's. I know that this is how I observe the towers. That's how I observe them. They're colorful and creative, and a powerful destroyer can be a powerful creator when they choose to be, right? But it's interesting, but it's saving ourselves. It's 11. It's saving ourselves, but it's the mental too. But but freeing ourselves from things that just don't serve us. But it's holding on to mindsets where that really limit us. They lack us. They limit us. They hold us back. And when we learn to release ourselves from that, I found favor with you. Then Queen Esther answered, "If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition, and spare my people. This is my request." But it's freeing ourselves, right? And energy is our true currency. And when we free ourselves, we have all this endless amount of things to tap into, endless amount of energy, of resources, of information, of knowledge, right? But it's our job to express ourselves. It's getting creative. It's getting creative with expressing ourselves, expressing our new energy. Well, but it's also expressing our new knowledge, expressing our new... It's new everything. Even the vessels, after when you go through a lot of drastic changes, even your vessels change, you're going to look healthier, you're going to make changes. It's a noticeable change. And then people hear you speak too, and it's a noticeable change too. It's just the difference is you couldn't hide it if you wanted to. But you don't want to, but it's learning not to. But a lot of times, we dim ourselves because it makes other people uncomfortable. We dim ourselves because our truth shines a light onto other people's falsehoods. But I'm not gonna deny myself, seeing the blue skies and smelling the roses, just because you decide to look at everything as, rainy and cloudy and miserable. But it's also, too, it's, the howling at the moon. But it's also dancing in the rain. It's being present. But it's interesting. It's like being present mentally, but not energetically. In the sense of, energetically, we should be pushing, for more, for... we are here in the now, and we're accepting of the now, and we're grateful for all of it. But energetically, we're somewhere else.
Bless the poet, proletariat, the lowly. Lost Lord, get down on both knees, choking back tears while the world moves at full speed.
All right. I am actually going to wrap that up right there. And, yeah. So thanks for tapping in. Thanks for all the likes, the shares, the comments. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the exchange of energy. And until next time.